They say one man's trash is another man's treasure, and lately that even applies to the food we eat. Yes, it does. Upcycled foods are made from ingredients that would usually be thrown out. Now they're further processed into marketable products, reducing food waste with a positive impact on the environment. And while the term may be new, you may have already eaten some upcycled snacks and other items. Oh, wow. Nancy Chen has the story.
We're like the weird people asking about like the waste instead of the beer, you know?
Like when you went on brewery tours?
Yeah. We're the only ones asking like, what is your waste? What do you do with it?
When Berta Jimenez moved to the United States from Ecuador for graduate school, she never expected to be on the cutting edge of baking.
Before you started all this, you weren't really a beer drinker or a baker.
That's correct. My background was mechanical engineering, so nothing related with baking.
But when she showed up at Keg and Lantern Brewing Company in Brooklyn, New York, with a bucket in hand, head brewer Jeff Lyons had just what she was looking to tap into.
What is this?
So this is malted barley. This is the aftermath.
You must produce a lot of this.
Absolutely. We probably have about a dozen of these on average per week.
That spent grain has long been discarded, but with the goal of sustainability, Jimenez co-founded Rise, a company collecting nutritious scraps otherwise thrown away during food production to make flour.
That's 12 times the fiber, 2 times the proteins, and 1/3 of the carbs. It's like really, really delicious, and it's also sustainable.
They transformed that food waste into ingredients for new products in a process called upcycling. Rise's first target, malted barley.
So best case scenario, this would go to animal feed.
Yes.
Worst case scenario, this goes to a landfill.
Yes.
Instead, she made it something to eat. Jimenez and her team preparing what they call super flour, crafted for bloggers and pilsners. It returned with surprising feedback from a chef.
We said like, we are so sorry that it has some flavor. And he was like, actually, like that's the part that I really like.
Since launching in 2017, Rise has quickly expanded, partnering with bakeries and restaurants. They've also started consulting major companies on how to reuse their waste, including beer giant Anheuser-Busch. While Jimenez says Rise flour is the first of its kind, she's far from alone. Upcycling was featured as a top trend of 2021 by both Food Network magazine and Whole Foods. Turner Wyatt created the Upcycled Food Association in 2019.
What exactly is upcycled food?
It's a way of taking otherwise wasted food and creating something new and nutritious out of it to prevent food waste.
About 1.3 billion tons of food are wasted every year globally. The association represents more than 140 businesses across 20 countries. Some are big companies like Dole, while others are startups with product lines devoted solely to upcycled food, like snacks made of salmon skins or makeup powder crafted from rice starch.
There's already more than 400 upcycled products on the market, but consumers don't know which ones they are because there's no label, there's no way to identify which are the upcycled products.
That's until next week, when the association will unveil a new label on Earth Day, soon to be seen on shelves nationwide. It certifies a net positive impact on the environment, taking into account manufacturing and transportation. And while the term upcycling is new, the practice is as traditional as simmering scraps for broth as it is innovative.
Is upcycling the solution to food waste?
I would say it's one of the solutions.
Ned Spang is an associate professor of food science and technology at UC Davis and works with the Upcycled Food Association.
What could the impact of upcycling be on the food supply chain?
I think it's less likely to disrupt it and more likely to kind of improve it. It helps us to do more with less, what we're already producing.
Could this really change the way we think about how we eat?
I think that really is the first step, not just for upcycling, but thinking about food loss and waste in general, is that we think about our role as a consumer.
That sustainability can reap benefits thousands of miles away, like at a cacao farm in Costa Rica. Here, the cacao fruit is used almost in its entirety to create a new brand of chocolate called Candid.
Candid Noons is still chocolate.
Yeah, it's still chocolate.
Chris Kajander is Candid CEO. He engineered a way to use part of the fruit usually thrown out.
We essentially extract the pulp and remove it, set it aside, and then go about making chocolate the way chocolate is made. And then we reincorporate the pulp as the primary sweetener.
To actually see it in my hand right here is you realize how much of it does get thrown out if all you're using are the seeds.
Launched last year, Noons are already in 400 stores nationwide. Chocolate returning to its origins.
Am I eating the seed? Yeah. Was I supposed to spit the seed out? Well, it tastes good.
The upcycling movement aims to readjust our concept of food, even how we describe it, when anything and everything can be ingredients.
All of these things, it's been declared a waste because the way we treat it. But if we just change the supply of how we take it, how we transport it, how we store it, it shouldn't be a waste. It should be an ingredient. It should be food. It should be whatever you want to make it with them. It shouldn't go to the landfill.
For CBS This Morning Saturday, Nancy Chen, New York.
It's really interesting. Maybe this is my thought process. I love the idea of it, but sometimes I don't know if I want to know that it's upcycled.
Right.
So I like that they've got a label,
nice.
but
Upcycled.
I like knowing it's helping our environment.
Yeah.
But
Well, I like the 12 times the fiber. What is it?
So the upcycled flour has
Right.
12 times the fiber, 2 times the protein, and 1/3 of the carbs as normal
that's
flour.
a good thing again.
It's always.
It's not a bad thing.
And you know those nibs, those little seeds, they are delicious.
I like how Nancy's like, was I
those
supposed to?
things. Oh my God, so good.